All right. Over the space of 2 months, all right, March and April, I was able to pitch my business to about 3 persons. All right. Luckily enough, I got one, and then I'm hoping to get from FLE business and mini pitch. The third one is still in review. Now, these are some of the things I've learned, while pitching my business or my brand. Now, one of the things I've learned is that people don't actually fund projects. No, people don't actually fund projects. Right? What they fund is the people who are going to execute it. Right? So you might have a brilliant idea, you might have the right strategy, the right plan, and all. Right? But people giving you support or funding your project, right, is not actually because of the project or the ideas. Right? It's actually because of the people who are going to execute it. Certain things they get to look at before supporting you or funding your project. Right, so they fund people who have visible execution, they fund people who have trust, who have credentials, and people who have proof of work. All right, and then people who are influential. So these are the kind of people most people actually fund. So one thing I will say to every creative or everyone who is trying to build something and you might require fundraising or support or other stuff, right? The thing is, you have to build first before you ask. Right, so you don't just have the idea and start seeking support, fundraising, and all of those stuff. I've built communities, right? I'm actually building a community, the safe alumni community and other communities, right? And one of the things I've got to notice is that we need to actually build first before you ask for support. People need to see visible proof of work. This is why the documentation is actually important. Right, documentation is very important while you're building anything, so that you can easily show what you're doing or what you've done, right? How you plan to execute and how you are carrying out the operations. But most sponsors don't analyze the proposal logically, so they are actually analyzing if the person who they are supporting or the person raising these funds is actually credible enough, if he has the power to execute. All right, now these are some things that you need to put in place. You have to have social proof, you have to have positioning authority, and then you also need to have emotional relevance when it comes to building, NGOs and all of those kind of communities that are non-governmental or non-profit, kind of organizations. Now, one thing I've seen most people do wrong, right, and also from my experience, is that people try to raise fund, from survivor mentality or from the survivor mode. No, that is wrong. You're definitely going to miss it. If you're seeking fund, right? If you're trying to raise fund, you need to see visibility, then see audience attendance, the youth engagement. All right. So these are some things that people look out for. The asset, it's not just your ideas. That asset is not just your ideas. The asset is your reputation. So that is why if you're trying to build anything, you need to have the right reputation. You have to have the right frame of mind, be in the right frame of mind to build and have credibility, have visibility, and also be influential. All right, so these are part of the things that you have to look out for, things I've learned, all right, while pitching my business. So I hope that you get some things out of this video and then put in the work.